Greetings from a very, very, very chilly Kansas City. This is Renee Benson at AV Renee KC. You are watching and listening to the AV Life.
Hi, this is Nancy Blanchard from Williams AV at Nancy Blanchard, and you are watching and listening to the AV Life.
Hello, I am Murphy Daly, author and AV veteran. You are watching and listening to the AV Life.
Hey, my name is Joe Way at Josiah Way. You are watching, listening, and stuck in LA traffic on the AV Life.
And hi, this is Tim Van Wert, your host, and I'm from Rutgers University, and you are watching and listening to the AV Life. All right, well, good evening, everybody. It is Thursday, February the 11th, for anybody who needs to know what this is. But although by the time you hear this, it's actually going to be Monday, February the 15th. So just in case you've lost track of the days now that we're in COVID, I feel like every week I need to tell you that. So, yes. So how are we all doing tonight?
Just lucky. Great.
So good. So good.
Darn near perfect, Joe?
Darn near perfect.
All right. And let me tell you, Joe, great work these last 3 days. We've just finished the HETMA conference. Rave reviews already out from the get-go. And also, I can officially say congratulations on being the best virtual conference as stated by the listeners of AV Nation. So
Kudos.
You know what? It was fantastic. I mean, we won Best Virtual Event on Monday, and we lived up to it Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And kudos to you, Tim. I mean, first off, we know we won it because your tuxedo for the AV Award in June is what really put us over the top, but we earned it again these last 3 days. So it was fantastic. That's why I'm on a high and recording on my way back as we just shut this one down. So that was great.
yes, well, Joe, and without your leadership, yes, it was a team effort, but you have the vision, and you're the one that sees us through. So, thank you. Oh, Captain, my captain. All right, and to our lady crew members, how are we all doing?
Great.
Good. Great job too,
Onward
Nancy.
and upward.
Oh yes, and great job, Nancy, as well. You took part today.
Yeah, it was great. It was really interesting, as I was mentioning earlier. Good topics, and just the sessions were phenomenal.
And we will have there will be video recordings coming out as well. So if you missed out on the action, you will just give us some time to get it out there, and then we'll get them out there for you. Before we jump into the PM minute, I just want to first introduce our guests. Tonight, we're going to be talking a little bit about, we've been talking a lot about COVID and things like that, but there's kind of been a quiet thing, because I guess it's, not exactly something that not everybody wants to talk about, but there are younger folks than us that are normally on the podcast that are currently dating or trying to start relationships in this age of COVID. And so we brought in two of our younger folks here to join us tonight. First off, from my crew over at Rutgers University, Jake Goldfarb. How are you doing tonight, Jake?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm the special project manager at Rutgers with Tim. I'm also a graduate student at Rutgers in my last semester.
And Jake is actually one of the handful that have our Rutgers grown digital classroom services technicians. He started off as a support specialist, worked on build team with us, and now we've got him back as a full-time member, although we did lose him for a short period of time. So, but we forgive you for that.
Just a short period.
Yeah, we forgive you for that though. So it's okay.
Yeah. Found him again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he found his way back to us. So so we're glad to have you here tonight, Jake. And Paige Stanberry. Paige, how are you tonight?
Hi guys, I'm good. I work at Williams AV. I work in marketing there, kind of run the show over there with Nancy, and so we have fun over there for sure.
So, well, thank you very much for joining us tonight, and we're glad you're here. And just in time, as I see in my bottom square here, Dave Pequeño, I'm gonna make sure I do it right. And welcome back 2 weeks in a row, and we're glad you were able to come back and join us tonight, Dave.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. And you got it right again. So you're on a good streak right now, Tim.
All
The
all
last
right, awesome. uh, all right, well, and so yeah, so and Dave, introduce yourself for those who may have missed last week.
Yeah, sure. So I am a regional sales manager at a company called Hypervision. They're a company that does a 3D visual solution. Previous experience at Sharp NEC Display Solutions. That's how I know our other podcaster, Renee Benson, as well, who invited me to last week's and made my debut last week. So
And you did such a good job. We had to have you back. So it's all right. And also I have to mention the headphones that you see me wearing tonight are the Sennheiser Momentum 3. So Sennheiser is a sponsor of the higheredav.com website. So when you're over at higheredav.com, make sure you take a look at their site as well, and take a look at all the wonderful products that they have offering for all of us from the podcasting realm to the higher ed AV and all AV realm as well. So not a bad plug. Yes, I got a Joe Way thumbs up. So that works.
That was
Good stuff.
next level plugging. That was next level plug. Like, I thought I was the king of the shameless plug. That Sennheiser needs to be proud of. Not just because they make a great product, but that was how you do it right there.
Love it.
Joe,
I-
he learned
I-
from the best, Joe.
Exactly. But I will say, like, these are very comfortable. The Momentum 3 are their traveling headphones. Comes with a nice little case, fully over the ear with noise canceling. I'm probably talking a lot louder than I normally do because I don't hear myself like I usually do. And my head's not being squeezed. So that's a nice little perk.
Very nice.
Don't get the head squeeze.
No. My poor little ears can't take it anymore. So
Ah.
okay, well, on that, after that plug, I'm going to hand it over to Murphy and our PM minute. So go ahead, Murphy.
No, my friends. All right. I had thought of this to share even before I remembered the topic, but I was just, it turns out that project management is different from technology because we can manage IT, we can manage technology all day long, and you don't have to wear pants with technology. You don't have to be polite. You don't have to put on your best self with technology, but with people, you have to behave differently. And project management is about people. I've been giving a lot of PM minutes about, well, do this technique and make sure to do that, but it's about the people. It's always about the people. And you can't forget that.
Yeah.
It comes down to that basic fundamental. It's the people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, that's that. Without people, we don't get anything done. And there's no project to manage without people, unless we get robots to start designing our AV systems.
Oh,
They
Lord.
would do a terrible job.
I'm sure.
They would not make sure that the headphones didn't squeeze the head.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Because that would not be functional. So that would not be secure.
No. So yeah, it's about the people, and that's pretty darn basic, but it's also well suited to our topic today, I think.
That is very true. Yes, we are definitely about the people today. So, yeah, I mean, I think we kind of touched on it a little bit last week as well, where you have to manage the project, but you have to manage the people as well. Like that's,
Yeah.
there have been plenty of times you need to make sure the people are revved up and ready to go and the morale is high, like even when projects go long or projects go overtime, like that's something that needs to be
Mm.
managed.
Projects with love. With
That's
love.
perfect.
Yes.
You
But
gotta
isn't
love.
that
Go ahead, Joe.
The thing is I Murphy, I love every point you make every time you do this, because isn't that the point? Like, it's so easy to get stuck in the line drawings and get stuck in the budget and get stuck in the tech and all this stuff, but it comes down to what are the final users, who are people with their own problems and their own desired results. The same thing, it comes down to people who are servicing that, whether it's the on-site technicians. Everything comes back to that there's a human behind the final result. And when you're always looking at budget numbers, or you're looking at line drawings, or you're looking at email addresses, it's so easy to forget that. So I love that. And I love that you pointed that out, especially not just in this time of COVID, but this time of Valentine's Day coming up this weekend. So that is great.
Because, you said it. Love is contagious.
Mhm.
COVID, pandemic. Let's start a pandemic of love on all of our work. Yeah, I'm going there.
That's better than
Yeah, I
magic.
mean, just have an open heart and hear each other, and projects will get done better and faster.
So it's called Be Kind.
Oh,
kind.
fine.
And save grandma.
Oh,
Sorry, Joe.
grandma needs love.
I can't put a grandma background up while I'm in the car. At least I shouldn't, because I don't want to crash the car.
You are the
That-
grandma.
What?
Whoa. Oh, she forgot she was
It's kind
on.
of dark. It's kind of dark. You look sort of shady back there.
That's a good background, Joe. I like that.
Yeah.
Uh,
There you go. I fixed it for you, Joe. I changed your display name.
Oh,
mm,
nice.
Saving grandma on the road.
mhm.
So there you go. At least Joe gets to save grandma even while he doesn't have grandma in the background. So
I'm pretty sure I can find a grandma. Like, this is very eerie if I put my face in the light. Like,
yeah, let's not do that.
it'd make a better Halloween episode than it would a Valentine's Day episode.
Yeah, I think so.
Can't you just tell that fancy Tesla, hey, find me a background of grandma and just pull it right up?
That's in the
Yeah,
next
Kate-
model.
Actually, yeah, you should just put it in autopilot and then you'll be fine. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You could do that. Well, I can put the fireplace thing up on, but you wouldn't see it if I put the fireplace up.
Yeah, that doesn't really help us
Give
on
up the
this end.
fireplace.
Yeah, our
Hold on, I'm gonna
listeners
see
and
if I can do it. Let's see if you can, and put my fireplace up all at the same time. Because there's a romance setting on the car.
Oh,
romance.
In the
But it said I cannot do it while my phone call is active.
Oh,
While your phone is active.
it's
That's what
for
it's
your own
telling me.
safety, Joe.
we used to just call it a burned CD for romance mode. You made a playlist, you burned it onto a CD, you threw it in the car, and that was romance
There
mode.
we go. Romance. I don't know if you
That's
can see
great.
it. Romance mode.
oh yes, I
got
see it. Yep.
missions, boombox,
Oh,
and romance.
Okay, are you driving?
That's why I'm not really looking at what I'm doing. I'm hoping you see it.
Okay.
Yeah,
saw it.
we are.
Check this out.
So we're saving
right.
grandma on the road, but are we saving Joe?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's
Oh,
your-
I just tested Rainbow Road for the first time. That is
Oh,
pretty cool.
I saw the
Those-
flashing lights on. I saw the flashing lights on the side. I thought you were getting pulled over.
Guys,
I-
Just-
Holy crap, this is awesome. So there's a rainbow mode. This is very love. I
This
just
is a-
turned the entire freeway into a rainbow. And it's like shining out from all directions of my car. People are looking at me, wondering what the heck is
I
happening.
have no
This is-
doubt people are looking at you.
Wow.
yeah.
Oh,
This has to be one of the
This
first
is
in
Tesla
podcast.
101. We were
Yeah.
watching Joe,
It's not actually a
discover
car
his
podcast.
car.
Tim, you are losing
Oh,
control again.
I didn't even, and he didn't even mean to do it. He just is like that's.
He's
There was
just
the,
natural.
so all right.
Wow.
Well,
All right.
Joe is having fun in his Tesla as we are as we're gonna move into the actual topic for tonight. You're-
Playing music for me now too.
You're going to have to mute him, Tim.
yeah, I think he did it to himself right now. So
We love you,
Ev-
Joe.
yeah, every time I see him pushing buttons, I know there's something happening over there. Yeah, he's in autopilot now. So yeah, let the car do that. We're gonna continue with the conversation here. So yeah, if you want to know about the fun stuff that's going on in Joe's car, get a Tesla, I guess. So maybe if I get a plug for them, maybe they'll be a sponsor of the AV Life.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just throwing out Elon Musk. If you're
Okay.
listening, we're open for your sponsorship.
Yeah, you can throw the
It's
satellite.
itself, I can't do anything. I don't know how to turn it off. It's just driving itself.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I
the
turned the entire freeway into a rainbow. It's playing music. I'm being passed by a cop, and the car is driving itself. This is
Joe,
fantastic.
forget about me
the
losing
opening
control.
for the slow speed chase right now.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's the most fun I've had in months.
So forget about me losing control of the podcast. Joe has lost control of his own vehicle.
Are-
So
You're going to it's the candy powered elevator to the moon.
Unreal.
all right. So thank you, Murphy, for your PM minute. Love people. Love your people and yeah, and love your projects with your people. And don't forget the
All
people.
love.
Yeah. Be kind. Rewind. Oh no, wait, no, that's Blockbuster.
I was just gonna say yes.
R.I.P.
So all right. So yeah, talking about loving people and doing those sort of things, and to those who have not joined to Paige, to Jake, well, Dave, you saw how it was last week. So to Paige and to Jake, I apologize
Yeah.
for how crazy this has already started here. But this is normal. So
Give him a precursor that this might happen.
well, this is basically how it's going to go for the next, half hour, 45 minutes. So this is what it's going to be.
Hold on.
So I just want to, so we're talking, this is the month of love. It's February. It's, we've talked about the love of AV. We talked, about like our AV rock stars, which unfortunately I don't think we're gonna get one tonight. We could highlight Dave a little bit more. He came back for a second time here, but what we really want to talk about tonight is we want to talk about what it's like being single, dating in this age of COVID, because as those of us that are married or are in relationships or what might be, we've been in lockdown for a year, essentially, not really being able to go anywhere. And we have our significant others with us, or, wives, whatever it might be. But from your end, from the three of you, what has your experience been in broad terms? We don't need to get specific about anything unless you want to. Then we could kind of take the conversation from there. I'm gonna go right to Jake first, since he's on the phone and I don't want to lose him. So Jake, go ahead. What's it been like for you over the course of the last year? So I know I've heard some of the stories, but
Yeah. So I'm relatively newly single since like mid-October. So at first it was definitely, besides the whole sadness of a breakup, it was the whole concept of, oh, like this is probably one of the worst times to be single right now. But it really hasn't been that bad. It's a lot more meeting online as opposed to bars. And then that's weird and you have to get used to it. But once you kind of get past that concept and you kind of figure out how that whole realm works, it's more, the weirdness comes from difficulty finding places to go on a date, and also, you have to gauge everyone's comfort level because everyone's different with it. So that the question of do you want to go out becomes much more weighty, because it's not just do you want to go out and do you like me enough to meet up with me somewhere, but it's also, do you trust me enough that I'm not going to give you this disease? Like there's a whole extra level to it. But once you get past that little piece of it, it's been surprisingly better than I would have expected it to be on my end.
All right. Very cool. All right. Paige, what about you?
Yeah, it's weird. It's definitely a good excuse to be single right now. Like when your family's asking, like, are you dating anyone? You can just say, COVID. But other than that, like dating apps are tough in general, just because it's like you're texting some random person, and like he said, it's like you need to gauge what, like, how comfortable people are, and especially like how the COVID rates are, like where you're living, I guess. And but yeah, it's awkward. Like dating's always been awkward, it'll always be awkward, but it's especially weird now that there's a pandemic happening.
So I have a friend who is going through the dating apps thing. She is and she's had a whole adventure she had just started to get back into it because she was afraid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, fine, I'll do this, So she got back into it, and she's been doing it she was doing it, meeting different people, and it was not working out, and then the COVID happened. And so she actually connected with one person, and they had started dating. They really liked each other. They were so compatible, and they both got COVID together.
How romantic.
Wow.
They really did.
Talk about getting close to
Yeah.
meeting someone new, huh?
And
Yeah.
apparently one of his things was that he really liked taking care of people. So he took care of her. So they were like sick with each other. They're like, we both have it. Let's just stay here together. So they co-quarantined for like 3 weeks. And went through all of that and a few other like personal things. Like her father actually had just died, and big
Like
deal,
from
right?
COVID?
But no, not from COVID. He had
Okay, whoa. Okay.
he had died
Whoa,
just
yeah.
previously, and anyway, then relationships. She was like, okay, well, look, I need this, and you need to, we need to negotiate this thing that's her boundary, and they split up.
Okay.
all during all during quarantine, huh?
Yeah, but she did not give up. She had dated several people across a couple different states, actually, because she was doing the COVID thing of working from home in different states. And then now she's really happy with her current guy.
Well, I feel bad for there's people that I've met on these apps that have just moved, they just moved and just started a new job somewhere. And it's like, how do you meet anyone, friend wise, even? How do you meet anyone right now? And I feel bad. But
Yeah,
it's-
there's a organization called meetup.com, and it's for people who are in new areas, or perhaps people that are divorced, etc. And like in the Bay Area, it's big here. That's how I met all my friends after my divorce, was through them. And there's a club for motorcycles, a club for knitting, there's singles clubs, or the one that I had, which was called Explore the Bay. It was just people getting together, and maybe there was happy hour at a bar, or maybe there was a hike, or there were activities. But that's one of the big things in the various cities, is that for people who move and it's new and you don't know anybody, get to know one another. I think that's probably safer than Bumble or Tinder or Coffee Meets Bagel.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, Nancy, because the main dating sites, right? Tinder and Bumble general, but doing things like, I don't know, you can't go to a concert, but you can watch a live concert via Zoom and something,
Yeah.
you know, you already have a common interest with that person. So, you know, you
Right.
could say, I was on this concert too, thought you were cute, and then try that. Now,
Yeah.
depending on how, you know, how many people were at it, maybe they won't message you back or anything, but it's always a good conversation starter, right?
No, it
Do those
is. It's
kinds of
true.
things.
I thoroughly recommend meetup.com for people to, like I said, any type of interest. There's so many different clubs in there. And even if, you know, you join one, I know people that have gotten together because, like you said, they shared the same commonality, and it just went from there and they became a couple. So
Well, so Jake and David, have you guys done any like video calls? Video call dates?
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Jay.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
So you got
Or do you want me?
it.
Okay. Sorry. I've done a couple. You know, I'm not a huge fan because I'm definitely an in-person guy. I live in Chicago, like the Chicago area. I just recently moved, but I lived in Chicago for 5 years, right? And you're used to meeting people at a bar or meeting friends of friends when you go to big public places. And, you know, to go on an app and meet someone you don't know and do like a one-on-one is a little intimidating, just kind of like a real date too, but it's just different because like what if you have like issues
oh,
Went
with
out.
the
Oh,
call
okay.
and there's like some video quality, you know what I mean? So
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah, there's a lot of challenges that you wouldn't have normally, you know, on a call. I think I'm having some audio issues too, so
I was gonna say the
sometimes
ironic part is that you started breaking up there.
yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
Jake, you were saying.
sorry.
Yeah, so I'm in about the same boat. I don't I'm not great at the online stuff too much. I'm learning, but I'm much more like my personality comes out a lot more in person, and it feels kind of. I mean, even at work, the meetings don't feel the same. There's not, you know, the same level of camaraderie that you get when you have, like, you know, however many people in a room together talking about something, and I feel like the same thing applies to dating. I haven't really been, if someone asked me to, if I asked someone out and they wanted to only do online, I don't think I'd be opposed to it. But I haven't been. Everyone I've talked to so far has been pretty okay with going to a restaurant. I had one girl ask me to call the restaurant beforehand to verify that they were, you know, being good about the whole, you know, restrictions, well, you know, whatever it is. But besides that, I haven't really had to do anything like that.
So are people wanting more of the video calls or texting relationship? Are
That's
they
the thing.
reluctant to go meet you at a restaurant or bar?
Well, that's the thing that the apps are pushing, right? They're like, meet safely on this video. I'm not gonna do that personally. That's awkward, but yeah, I don't know. That's like, I think they're kind of marketing that right now, and I just was wondering if any of you guys have tried that. But
You know,
Yeah, I definitely.
oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say I definitely see them pushing it, the whole video capabilities that they have, but I
Yeah.
don't. I would be curious to see how
That's
many
like
people actually.
That's like the alcohol retailers saying, drink responsibly.
right,
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
Well, I have a friend. She's in her mid late 50s, and she's really into doing the Zoom calls because she says, I want to know right off. I want, you know, I've connected with a guy. I want to meet him instantly to know, you know, whether it's worth it, you know, that next step or not. So she doesn't have a problem with doing the Zoom calls.
Well, and I wonder if that comes with age too, because like my husband and I have only been together 3 years, so I haven't been married that long. But I mean, even on our first date, I mean, I had questions. I wanted to know this. I wanted this, and I just think that wonder if that's a generational thing. Like the older you get, the less
I think
time
so,
you have.
Renee. I really do. I think because we've been through divorces, we've been through life experiences, we've had kids. It's no longer that, you know, where you, I don't know. Yeah, it is. It's just, it's different. It
Yeah.
just, it, I don't know how to explain it, but yes, it is different.
Yeah, Renee, do you go? Well, I know you're married now, but would you go on a date and just have a list in your pocket and pull it out and just kind of go down the line. Okay, so let's see how many boxes you cross off, type of thing.
Well,
I
the
wouldn't
list
go on
was
a date
very
until I
embedded in
had
my
that
brain.
list
So
already.
yes, but I did have a list.
We got a list.
'Cause I
We
was
all
a
have a
single
list.
mom, and that was, you know, family was important, religion was important. There's just a lot of things that, but why waste any time? Like, why
Right.
with any,
Yes,
Yeah.
why waste any time? And I think that's because of the older generation. We've been through it, and so why waste our
right?
time?
Okay,
Mhm.
so
And I
so
really
for
don't
me,
have time
in
to-
my early
Here's the thing, though.
Uh-oh, what happened?
what?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, Joe
Go
loves
ahead.
rainbow.
Well, no, rainbow's gone. Rainbow's gone. But here's the thing: the age difference, it shouldn't be overlooked. Yes, like I'm on a second marriage. The second time you knew, okay, there is that checklist, whether it's a physical checklist or a mental checklist, there is a checklist. And you go through, especially if you're becoming a blended family, etc. But let's not take away that when you're younger, you need to go through that rush of the learning and the different relationships. Like you don't want to just, the list comes because your life priorities change, and the life priorities change over the course of, I now have family, I now have kids, I now have a house, I'm at a certain point in my career. But there's a fun in that early 20s, late 20s, that time in your life where you should take your time. You should enjoy the experience of the relationships and letting them build and go through that. So
I agree.
I don't know if there's a point, but anyway.
Okay, so what I was going to
I
share
agree
is
too.
something similar. When I had an early marriage. I got married at 21, and I had a list at that time too. I'm a very listy person, but I had a list.
As a
But
project manager, no.
as a fledgling baby project manager,
Born listy.
yes. I just didn't know to insist on it, and that marriage ended. And I really should have insisted on it harder. I didn't know at that young age that I had a right to insist on it. So when I got divorced at 26, it's time to go out again, right? And then I was like, I totally have a list, and I'm totally going to get this done. I'm not wasting my time. Not that I wanted to get married to the person right away, but I mean, I didn't want to waste my time again. So the experience is part of it. Youth, maybe not. I was still pretty young when I met the person who became my second husband. I'm very happy with him. But yeah, experience has a lot to do with it. But I
And how long have you been married to your second husband?
Pop quiz.
Oh
Not
my,
a trick question.
we've been together since 2000. We got married, so 13 years, yeah,
okay.
or
Nice.
14 years, yeah, something like that.
And
Oh,
hopefully
yeah, I was
he's
gonna say,
not
what-
listening to this.
Oh, he doesn't care. Yeah, he's off grocery shopping. That's great. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I was gonna say, I met my wife when I was 24. So yeah, it was at a party. So like, this, hearing your stories about all the online stuff is like,
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but I'm glad I'm not dealing with it right now.
I said
Right.
I
You
was
should
gonna
be.
be quiet tonight on this, and I was going to let Paige talk.
Well, it's just like the thing that bugs me is like, so like a lot of older people that you'll see in like a grocery store or
Define
whatever.
older.
Yeah.
Yeah, be careful there.
Or not.
Like grandparents not wearing a mask. Okay, it bugs me so much because I'm in my 20s and I'm staying home and wearing a mask and da 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 da. And then when I see people not wearing a mask, it's like I'm doing this for you. And it's my 20s. Like I should be going out and dating, and that's what's been frustrating, I think, is like people that aren't taking it seriously. And I don't know.
Yeah, I want to say something about that. So, so that's one thing that I've learned online dating is that like COVID is such a big topic an important thing, like what your comfort level is and what, how you feel about it. Because I've met people who are very for masks and people who are very against masks and every shade in between, right? And it's kind of like one of those hot topics like politics and religion where like it's a deal breaker for someone. Like if you don't agree on like wearing your mask or like not wearing the masks, that person's instantly like, nope, not interested. So yeah, I know I don't have like a list, but like I know there's a couple of things, and like that's usually one of them. Politics is usually another one, which I try to stay out of that for sure,
For
especially
sure.
in
That's
Chicago.
like
It can
a
get
big
pretty hot
thing.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's been a big thing, David. Like, I never before in my life thought people would just like ask you your political beliefs or, like any of that. Like, that was never a thing. And now it's like so prevalent. It's different. It's a different dating world.
Harkening
So
back
talk
to
about the list. Oh, so talking about the lists that have been started to create and things like that.
Yeah.
Would the vaccine be on the list now? Like, would that be a deal breaker? Like, I because I mean we had sent out an article from CNN that that people that it's important to them that somebody has the vaccine. And I mean, obviously, I know as far as availability and stuff like that, that changes. But is the vaccine an important thing? Since we're talking about COVID and comfortableness,
comfort
No,
levels.
guys.
comfort
Yeah.
levels. Thank you. So sorry, say it again.
For me, yeah. So for me, not so much. I might be in a minority here, but I'm not. So like obviously like I don't I wear a mask, like I mean all that stuff's silly to me. But I'm not so worried for myself as much as I am giving it to someone else, right? So Rutgers testing every week has kind of made this easier because I'm always relatively aware of what my status is. I'm terrified of giving it to my parents, for example. So if I go on a date, I just don't see them for 2 weeks. I block it out. I'm like, okay, I won't go see them if I'm going to be going out to dinner or whatever it is. So for me, the vaccine it would be a plus type of thing. But it wouldn't be a deal breaker. But on the other hand, if they start throwing some conspiracies at me about the vaccine, then that's probably not going to work.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I have never been nervous about me getting it. I've always been nervous about giving it to other people, and like that's been the big thing. I mean, I work with older people. I would hate to get someone sick. I would feel horrible.
Well,
Yeah,
it
for
shocked me. That
sure.
article shocked me that was such an important thing.
Yeah, that was crazy to me.
But I also had never used a dating app and never had this date in this world today. So
Mhm.
it was a shock to me that was literally a deal breaker for people. Like
Wow.
if you're not interested in the vaccine and getting it, or you haven't had it, you're out.
See, and I think that's unfair because there's many people that have intolerances, and I will check because my youngest son has autoimmune disease, autoimmune disease, and I want to make sure that the ingredients in it, he's not going to have some type of reaction. And I just had a couple older friends who got the Moderna, it's Moderna, I think, right?
Moderna.
Yeah, it's Moderna.
And they actually did have some reactions to it, and people were saying, well, the second one will actually be worse, but then they're saying, well, then that tells you that it's working
Yeah.
in your body.
Mhm.
I'm a little bit leery. I would prefer to wait until the vaccines have had their time, because there have been batches that actually haven't worked well that they've discovered. So let's just wait a little bit. Now you got Johnson and Johnson has come out with one where all you need is one shot and that's all.
Yeah, but no,
But-
I've also heard that the downside to that one is that it may not necessarily protect you from the variants that have started to come out. So,
Yeah.
So much unknown.
so where's the trade-off?
I'm worried
Is
about the research
Yeah.
and all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I had COVID. I was one of the lucky people to get it, and I had no symptoms. I fought it off. So like as a younger person, it's like I don't know if I need it necessarily. I don't know. And but if I want my parents to get it, so it's like I have these differing views. It's weird.
So Paige, what symptoms did you have, or you said you didn't really have? So how did you find out that you had COVID?
So the only reason I got a test is because someone in our office had it, and I would not have gotten a test if they didn't have it, and I had no symptoms, and um, I was positive. So
Mhm.
I don't know. It's weird. It's kind of scary how everyone's symptoms
That's
are.
questionable, right? Because you didn't, and I know that they say that
Yeah,
you don't
asymptomatic,
necessarily have to. Huh.
but yeah.
Yeah, and that's a weird like gray area because like there's people who have had it and they had really negative experiences. And people who had it and they're like, it was okay. Like I got sick, but I felt better after a couple of days. It's just there's so many different shades of that, and at least this article for me, it really resonated with me because like in Chicago, it is like that important where people will like they really will like unmatch you or
Really?
I don't want on Facebook like even like unfriend you if you have a different view than them. Either way, yeah, it's pretty crazy like that. So when
Right.
you're on a date or on a social media or like an app like Tinder, Bumble, I'm the kind of person that I keep to myself. I've been doing the precautions and all that stuff, and I wear the mask when appropriate, but I'm not on the side where it's like, well, I wouldn't go out, and hang out with someone because I'm not comfortable. But if again, if it was like 100 people, I'm like, I don't know about that. It was like a small group of like a couple people, and I kind of know where they've been at or have an idea of that. Um, but yeah, it's just it's really weird to hear different every day I hear different things from people like some just about the vaccine and taking it. Not I've heard a lot of people who just aren't going to take it ever, and it seems like a really important issue, at least from what I've heard. So but for me, if I was on a dating app and someone was very good looking and seemed like the right person, I don't know, maybe that would be a risk I
Good
should
chance.
take. I never know, so might be worth it.
Hottie, then we'll
Yeah.
Well, but
What did Tim say earlier? God, or I get COVID for you or whatever.
Oh,
I'd take
hashtag I'd get COVID for you.
Good for you.
Yeah. There
That's
should be like there should be a dating app just for people who've had COVID, like COVID
go.
catch or something like that.
COVID.
You're
Well,
COVID
there you go,
catch.
David. There's your $1 million.
Yeah, there we
well,
go.
and that's the other thing. Like here in Northern California, so they had all the it was purple tier because we have colors. So that meant that there was no indoor dining, no outdoor dining. All the bars were closed. So how do you meet somebody? Because you go to a park and sit on a bench, 6 feet away, because you can't go for a drink. You can't really go for a coffee because, they've taken all the tables and chairs. And of course, they're all busy and stuff. So it's very awkward.
That would make it really tough.
I
You
was
would have to
saying
be
it's
very creative. You would have to do that, right? Meet at a park.
Well,
And
the only thing you can do is go for a hike.
well,
Really?
and at this time of year, that's hard to do because unless you like shuffling through the snow, at least here
Well, for
on
you, yes. For
in our zone here,
Snow?
yeah.
Yeah.
You talk about snow.
So it's in the 60s, and my mountains are right there. And
Well, my mountains are right there too. It's just they're buried in snow, but
So these choices that people are making, they're saying you have to have a vaccine or you absolutely can't wear a mask or I can't deal with you, are these choices that people have internalized as meaning something about the character of another person.
Yeah, I
And
would say
so
so. I would say it's like not a personality trait. It's like a defining character trait, like
Like a
political
religious-
party or religion or, hobbies in a way, which is kind of weird to think about, but I mean, it's that important right now from what I see. So,
Well, it's in times of uncertainty, people will grasp at straws. We don't have certainty about what the correct path for mask or non-mask or COVID now or vaccine. Now, some people are really sure they do. And because they can't definitively prove it, they like double down on it, right? So they're like, this is the only thing that's getting me through it is my belief that if I wear a mask, I'm going to be going to heaven or whatever they think, right? So this is this moment where people are insecure and off balance.
Yeah, and I think the way I look at it is none of us know everything that's going on. And so,
Wow.
and I just, people who act like know-it-alls, it's like you don't know everything that's going on, so chill, you know? And
I
and
like
then
that philosophy.
yeah,
Just
and then
chill.
there's people on the other side who, they don't care about anyone, and it's like, okay, I don't have time for that either. So it's like I'm trying to meet people in the middle, and it's hard, but it's people have their way of surviving, I guess.
So it's almost like
now,
it's a
go ahead,
thing.
Renee.
It's you still have a checklist. It's just a different
But it's
checklist.
interesting. So
Yeah.
let's bring up a point though. Like, when you go through a traumatic experience, like I just did in December,
Mhm.
or when things go on in people's lives, you always think how someone is supposed to act because when you're not the one who goes through it.
Mhm.
But now we're all going through a pandemic. We're all going through an economy that is slowing. We're all going through all these things. How do you handle, like, knowing what's the right way to handle it, right? Because, no one knows anything. Yet on the other hand, we all feel like we know what other people are supposed to know. We all have our opinions, and yet none of our opinions can be proven right. Yet there's no right way to handle a global pandemic because none of us have ever gone through a global pandemic. And there's no way to handle, like California, 6,000 restaurants closing in 8 months, right?
Mhm.
No one knows all of this. So it's like, so how do you judge, like, what's the right way? Because who knows, right? None of us know. And that's the hardest part, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Personally-
essentially. Oh, go ahead, Jake.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Personally, I kind of take solace in the fact that no one knows anything, right? And to that extent, like what Paige said, like I just kind of, because of that, I just find the middle ground because I feel like if there's all these people that have these extreme views on one side and all these extreme people that have these views on the other side, then most likely if you average out the two crazy halves, you get the general idea of something. So I kind of that's kind of how, not just with COVID, I kind of look at a lot of things. Like I'm kind of comfortable in that concept.
That's wonderful because what that means, Jake, I've only met you tonight, but what that means is you've got a solid core inside of yourself that says, on the whole, I'm going to be okay.
Well, thanks.
Yeah. So you've got that core inside of you, but it is, as a contrast, there's some people that really don't, and they're clinging to this. I'm going to be right despite everything. Kind of faith zealot, mask vaccine zealots.
Well,
And
yeah,
political.
and there's just so much negativity too, and the reason that, like, the reason I grasp onto that not everyone knows everything is, why spread more negativity and put someone down for their thoughts and what they believe? It's like it's wasting your breath, and
Yeah.
and I don't know, I can't do that. Like I'm in survival mode. We're all in survival mode. I can't waste my time on putting other people down. I don't
Well,
know.
and it goes with what you're saying. Like, you can't know. Well, maybe they are right. Okay, maybe.
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. And getting caught
So
up
do we,
in it doesn't
with
help
with
anything.
without getting too political, do we think that our current, like, I guess, what is the word I'm looking for? Hangover from our political environment that we're dealing with do you think that's also affecting us as well? Not just the virus, but the political side of things too?
Yeah.
Just like how we did, or
Just how, like, everyone, you're very one way or the other. Like, there are very few that are following in the middle.
yeah,
I do because there's frustrations on either side because of what they believe, and it has been a roller coaster, for the past couple of years, and now there's changes, and it's sort of taking a 360, and I think that is hard on some people.
So I have a theory I'm cooking on this one. Not being political. There is how there's like a noise about there being an opioid addiction epidemic. There is a judgment addiction epidemic. We are so hungry to judge everybody else. And it started even before. Another thing I would say, the reality TV shows. Let's go watch people whose lives are terrible and just be feeling so happy that we're not them.
Well, it's technology and social media all together. Like I love social media. I deal with it all day. But I don't know if any of you have watched The Social Dilemma. But it's like
I've
I
heard of it.
wonder,
I've never watched it.
yeah, it's like I wonder why everyone in my high school hated ourselves is because that's what people were doing is putting each other down, and you're always comparing yourself to other people, and no one's ever right. We can never meet in the middle, and we can never discuss things. Someone's always so wrong.
Mhm.
And do you think, Paige, that that's because of COVID right now? Because everybody's sort of on eggshells and
I think
impatient, and
I think it was happening before, and I think
Mm-hmm.
it just all built up, and this was gonna happen with COVID or without COVID.
I think COVID heightened it though, because all we
Yeah.
had was the distance from people and we didn't get a chance to be near each other and go, they're a person.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and when
everything's just
COVID
happening so
evolved-
fast daily, I guess. And, like you said, we started slowing down, and
You're home all day. I mean, what are you
Well, when
gonna
this
do?
started, the whole lockdown and everybody being home, it was nice here in the Midwest. And I mean, I had never seen some of these people that live in my neighborhood. Everybody is walking, they're out on their bikes, their kids are all, I was like, it got everybody out of their house. Well, now what? It's, 9 degrees here. We can't do that. So now you've got people locked in their houses again. And I think that takes a toll on people, especially people that have to work at home, be teacher at home, still do, have no escape. So
Yeah.
I feel for you guys that are trying to date and all that. Heck, I'm just trying to
well, but here's the positive.
husband. It's like,
Kudos to you who have put up with a spouse, and hopefully everything is just ducky at home.
In
To
lockdown,
us
how
who are
have you guys been-
single,
Yeah,
we,
how have you guys been doing with your spouses?
we
Like,
don't have to worry about that.
yeah, you're in
see,
lockdown.
mine is an essential worker, so he goes to work every day.
Right.
I mean,
So do I.
There you
So
go.
I've been going to work. I have 4 out of 5 days a week I go to campus. So, and so
And you've done
and
that the whole
Jake,
time.
and
What's up with you, Tim, with that 5th day? Chuck.
oh, I'm doing kindergarten. I'm doing virtual kindergarten with my son. So that's my 5th day.
Wow.
Well, anyway, yeah, but or work from
As
home.
any
And
parent during this, seriously.
well,
rough.
it's not. It's been
I-
stressful. I won't lie. It's stressful because, especially for like myself and my wife, more so my wife, because she's trying to work from home 3 days a week and also teach kindergarten to my son. Like he's doing virtual kindergarten, which I give his teacher all the credit in the world because she's trying to make a very sociable experience virtual. So yeah, and yeah, it's crazy, and it's not what I imagined for him at this point in his life, but it's what we have to do right now. Um,
Now,
so
Tim,
you
do
know,
you have some type of Zoom with his classmates so that they can
Yep.
sort of have like a playtime, a virtual playtime?
well, no, not really. I mean, so in the fall it was nice because he had soccer. So and his team was mostly kids from his school. So he got to see them during soccer practice, which was he had practice 2 days a week plus a game on a Saturday. So 3 days a week he got to see everybody, and then he went hybrid for 4 weeks in October to November, and then so but since then he's been virtual again. Um,
See,
but
I tried to arrange virtual play dates on Zoom.
mhm.
Where they,
Well,
where they
we
stuff.
have friends that are in our bubble, like kind of like the second layer bubble that we've hung out with, that they've been staying home and their kids really don't go out much either. So we've
Yeah.
gone and done play dates. So he still gets the interaction. It's
That's
just,
good. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Plus he
No,
also had preschool. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I have empathy for younger kids, the parents, because I have junior college and high school, 11th grade. So I don't have to worry about that. But if I do think of if they were back in middle school or elementary, it would be a lot for me trying to do my job as well as having to attend to them. So I can see right now that is a challenge. It's a real trying time. And, not only for the teachers, but we got to give a shout out to the parents.
Yeah, no, yeah, all the parents out there, you're doing awesome. It's like
Yeah.
you really are. So no matter what, yeah, it's tough, and hopefully we're nearing the finish line. So yes, yes, thank you, Nancy, and we do need to applaud all the parents out there. So
Now, like
and
we have
yes,
a day off tomorrow for schools here because it's going to be like so below zero. And they announced, virtual learning. I'm like, haha, you don't get no snow days anymore.
That's so
Yeah,
sad.
that's
True,
sad.
they don't. They don't.
No.
And it's
don't.
pathetic.
so it's what's funny is that last week when we got like the 24 inches of snow that we got here, they what they did for my son is that Monday, when the snow actually happened, we got a half day essentially. They were like, no afternoon session. It's like, all right, fine, we're virtual, it doesn't matter. But then they gave him the snow day on Tuesday when the snow was done. And it was like, well, why couldn't we just do what we just did so the day counts? Because I'm not taking him out in the snow at 10 o'clock in the morning. It's like, I'm going to wait till the afternoon. So it was like, it didn't make any sense. So now we have to figure out, when do we lose a day, because we don't actually have snow days built into our schedule. We just need to take days away at some point during the spring. So
Oh, boy.
smart move. Yay.
So as you said, yes, it is a very different, if we go back to, the dating and things like that for everyone. And I think that if somebody has, the uneasiness of, are you going to get vaccinated, or have you been, self-quarantining and things, I don't think they should be on the dating sites. I really don't. I think that they should wait.
We need a new
And-
dating site that's
what
all
I-
according to each belief set.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or it's
Vaccinate.
just,
Well, Bumble just went public, and she's
Yeah.
31 years old and a mom, and she's a billionaire now.
She's
I've
the
never
first,
that
they're the
one.
highest grossing self-made billionaire.
11% she's got interest in there, and yeah.
I like it. Vaccinate.
Oh.
Nice one,
Yeah,
Paige.
it's a winner.
That's it. Trademark.
Uh-huh.
Trademark for Paige.
Okay, you heard it first.
Vaccinate.
Bye, Nancy. I'm not going to be able to vaccinate.
As we have it recorded, so this is the day it's documented. So
Yeah,
Vaccinate.
it's not limited to Corona. It could be measles. It
Exactly.
could be the
Everything.
cold.
Well,
You
that's
got a
it,
whole
right?
brand going there.
Yes.
So is this so wait, Paige, though, is this for the folks that do get vaccinated or don't get vaccinated? So or it should be anti-vaccinate for the so
Like,
should
there could
we
be two. There could be a spin-off. I would definitely launch one and then do a spin-off of the other.
there you go.
Two branches.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
But I think it's great that Jake brought up that if he's going to go out on a date or go out and be with friends, then he does all the precautions and then just doesn't go see the parents for a couple of weeks because
Mhm.
if something were to, that's smart. I would rather do something like that than to not put myself out there. I think if I were in the dating world right now.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah, I mean, and that's determined too about, I'm not worried about it. Like I have friends that are, they might be heavier or whatever it is, where the only time they've hung out with me is outside in their backyard, So I feel, it's a personal comfort level thing, as well as like it's that as well as kind of what you what you're worried about.
So does that mean you have to leave a couple weeks span in between dates? Like, it's not good.
It depends.
For the next one.
Like if I see my parents, for example, then I'll know. I see them probably if I see them once a month, cool. Like that's I feel good about that. So usually if I see them, I'll go a little crazy for a couple weeks, and then I'll chill out, and then I'll make plans with them and base it all around that.
Just play ya.
But when you're on these dates though, you're wearing a mask and you're like 6 feet apart or not? Is that what you're
No.
saying? That's when you're self quarantined?
No. It's like a normal, a lot of restaurant
Well,
type. dinner
okay,
dates.
so what you're saying is that it's not the first time that you've met them, but maybe it's the second time where maybe you don't wear the mask or you're not 6 feet apart.
I mean, every first date I've been on has been at a restaurant with no mask on.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah, I guess it's
so
it's here in Northern California. We can't go to restaurants, so it's not like that at all.
right. Yeah, that's definitely something that I've been kind of grateful for being in New Jersey because we had our restrictions and everything, but it hasn't, it's like up until last week, bars and restaurants had to close at 10, and that was the only weird thing I had to deal with, which really in totality isn't a big deal.
But see, if you go to a restaurant though, sure, because you're eating, so you will take your mask off.
So
And Tiffany's laughing. I want to know what's going on.
so I threw a link in the chat.
that link.
It actually my hysterical laughing was at Renee's reaction that I tossed in here. New York City actually released a safe sex during COVID document.
I cannot believe this is a thing.
It's a thing.
This is the thing. I actually thought it was the CDC at first, but it's New York City Health Department that decided to throw this out there. And yeah, they give you guidelines.
Can I read one? It's family.
It's family
But
friendly.
it's fine. I mark it
It's
on
somewhat
YouTube.
family
That's not for.
friendly.
Well, I mark it on YouTube. That's not for kids, so don't worry. So it's
Read it.
Okay, cool. So my favorite line in the whole thing is, "If two is company, then three or more is definitely a crowd." Yeah,
And it
they
was like
just
only
felt
with
the
people
need.
close to you. Oh my gosh, yes. Perfect.
Wow.
Tells you to only be with somebody who's a consenting partner. Thank God they put that in there.
I know. Don't you love how they tell you how to have your own sexual
Oh.
life? Like,
Oh yeah,
Well, you are
It's
your
busy.
safest partner.
yes. And make sure you wash
You're right.
you wash
Right,
your
wash
hands
own hands.
and the
And
toys.
the toy.
Yeah.
That ducky needs a bath.
This article is cracking me up. It's not an article. It's just,
Dead.
it's
I
just-
saw something like that before, but not from New York, where yes, it told you. And I thought, really?
okay, this is hysterical.
This just shows
We're all
the world.
just reading. We're all just reading.
I
This
know,
is
we're
great
all like-
Yeah,
pod.
I'm sorry. I should have
Great pod.
given
You're
this.
like,
I should,
oh.
I should have thought of this earlier to like send out to everybody, but it like dawned on me while I was here. I was like, oh, they had this. Like somebody actually created this document. So, Yeah. So this, and that's our country, though. I think this is our country in a single document, that
Right.
everything that we do needs to be written out, so that there's someone out there who could say, no, we wrote that down. We told you not to do that.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Well, think about it. So this isn't the COVID, but think about the woman who used the Gorilla Glue and then had to go through surgery because of her hair. So they're
Yeah.
they're being safe by going, hey, by the way.
Yeah.
So
Well,
this
as-
is the pretty women type of dating, no kissing,
Good kissing
Yeah.
it.
like pretty
Yep.
women. Yeah.
On the first date.
Just keep your mask on. That's it. Yeah.
do.
And now it's double mask. You have to have
Double-
a double mask is more.
They're saying triple.
They're crazy.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know why we're not all wearing fish bowls over our head.
It's happening. It's the natural progression. I just can't wait till I'm at a store and like they have like branded masks. It's like single mask, double mask, triple mask, and then it's like higher prices. It's crazy.
Yep.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the next trade show, I don't care, but I am just being an octopus and whoosh around somebody because I need hugs. I'm missing.
Well, I'm hoping
Oh,
by October that like we're gonna be in good shape with
I
that.
hope
Yeah.
so.
This is just a nudge into the political,
Mhm.
but these types of choices and these types of recommendations, I see them as maybe they're good, they are well-meaning, but they are also a way of exerting power. So having these restrictions that are moderately supported by evidence, saying, but you should do this, not make up your own mind, but this is required. This is a method for a well-trodden path that people can use to control. I certainly use this method on my daughter. She's my daughter, so I will use different methods to control her behavior to get her to do what I want her to do.
Mhm.
And so this type of thing, I'm like, well, there may be just a movement in those who these types of things are saying you will be governed by this, by people not consenting. It's already happening.
Mhm.
People are saying, no, I will not consent to that.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I think there's going to be more and more people going, I'm going to make up my own mind. And then
And
there will be the people against the reaction against that, saying you are a horrible human being because you have made up your own mind.
and that's my issue is like what Nancy said, like there are people who have allergies, okay, who shouldn't get the vaccine, right? I'm not saying I'm one of them, but like I have a
They exist.
cousin who's allergic to everything. And who are we to judge someone that's not getting a vaccine because of their own health? You know? And I think that's what it's going to come down to. It's going to become even more judgmental than it is now.
And you know
Yeah,
what?
it's
There's a
that
good point,
hits.
Paige. A good point is, so I've been reading, if you now want to travel domestically, they're looking at that you have to be vaccinated, and especially in
Right.
internationally, an app to prove that you have been vaccinated. So what about that little percent where they can't because they will have a severe reaction? What happens? They can't travel? I can't take my kids on a Disney cruise internationally because Max can't get the vaccine?
Yeah,
There has to be something beside that.
And just like if you're unsure and you don't want to put something in your body, why is that? I mean, I don't know.
No, I agree with you. There's others that are the anti-vacciners, as they call them, but Paige, I'm actually questioning it for myself because I, in the past, have had certain reactions to things, and I think, do I want this new man-made vaccine going in my body, of which then I will suffer another reaction? And they're not fun.
Yeah.
It's hard. That's a big question.
Right.
Yeah, it's very much like it's okay for people to think for themselves, and I don't think people realize that. It's okay
Yeah,
for
it's
you.
okay to have your own opinion. Yeah.
It's okay to think for yourself
Yeah.
well. It's okay for some people.
Right. Well,
And other people are totally not okay with other people thinking for themselves.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, I had 1 year, I gave the boys a flu shot and they were the sickest they've ever been. And from this day, I said, absolutely not. And you know what? They only see the doctor once a year, and that's simply for the health wellness. They're never sick.
that's what happened to me
But
when I got the flu shot. I got influenza C, and it was the sickest I have ever been. And I was like, someone shoot me. Like it was horrible. So I don't know.
I think it's a case by case basis. I really do.
Yeah.
So Paige, if you've already had COVID, then can you pull the antibody card when you go out on a date? Like, I'm pretty safe because I probably still have the antibodies.
I don't know. I think it's been too long.
No. Gotcha.
I wish.
Yeah, the antibodies, it depends.
90
It
days,
seems
right?
like there's a whole argument about, is it 3 months? Is it 6 months? Like,
I
so
think everybody's different.
Yeah.
Paige, can I ask you a question? So, since
You-
you've had COVID, because I'm curious, do people bring it up a lot? Like, is that a big topic when you're dating? You know, because I kind of wonder that. Like, do
Um,
people say,
Uh-oh.
one guy actually got really mad at me, and he was like, "Well,
Why aren't you
you're-"
dead?
He was like, you're being unsafe," and I was like, "Well, I'm going to work like a lot of people are doing," and that's how I got it. But yeah, people like very judgmental, and I was like, "Listen, I'm just doing my job. Like I gotta get paid, I gotta pay rent, I gotta feed myself." But like other than that, other people are like, "Oh, we're cool then since you had COVID," and I'm like, "Okay, well, I don't know about that," but so I don't know. It's everyone's got their own opinions and their own views. But
okay,
all right.
And then
Well-
it comes back to it's about the love. Be kind.
with the love, just be kind.
Be kind. Yes.
Be kind.
No
Don't be
It's like
rude.
we're going back to like the 60s. Like, it's like, just love everybody. Like, let's just,
But
Peace.
6 feet apart.
Peace.
Yeah.
but 6 feet apart. Yes.
Yeah, I'm all
I-
about the social distancing.
I love you. You be kind, but stay away from me.
yeah, I love you over there, but not right here. Just
Right.
over there. You're good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes,
I feel for you guys trying to date during this time. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I hope it's over soon.
Yeah.
I'm being probably in trouble at InfoComm because I'll be walking around hugging everybody.
I'm gonna hug the crap out of Nancy the next time I see
I know.
I know.
her. Care if it's
Are you
going
sending me flowers on Sunday, honey?
maybe chocolate, maybe.
Are we gonna have a chocolate cupcake like Amsterdam?
I'm gonna have to FaceTime you and drink wine with you.
Okay. It's a date.
Sweet.
I should have probably told you. Paige. You could have done that tonight. So.
Isn't that the Galentine's Day?
There
Yes,
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. the
Oh,
gallon.
Parks and Rec reference there. Yeah.
Yes.
There,
You know,
right.
I always
Treat
put up
yourself.
Treat
decorations
yourself.
for every holiday, and even Valentine's Day. And a couple of years ago, my eldest said, "No, Mom, because it'll depress me," because he never had a girlfriend. And this year, I said to them, "Do you want me to put the Valentine's decorations up?" They said, "No, we're all single. It's just another year of being reminded we're single."
All of us are single. That's
Aw.
Yeah, getting to the point of there's no sense in decorating the house.
Yeah.
I'll just wait for St. Patty's Day.
I
and
was
then
gonna say, get
all
ready for St.
drinking.
Patrick's Day. There are tons of decorations already out there. I was looking last time I was out of the store. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, you know what? I think we're gonna cut it off there for tonight. So I'm gonna thank our guests. Jake, thank you very much for joining us outside of our usual Rutgers insanity.
Hey, it's fine. It was fun.
And I know you're like a social media ghost for the most part, but I think there's one place that people can find you. Can you let us know where that is?
Yeah, you could go to my Instagram. It's goldie.does, spelt how it sounds.
Like DOES does.
Yeah, it does. Like I do things.
You do things.
Two things.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate that at least you have some sort of social media presence. So,
Yeah, I try to keep it pretty low key.
well, and good luck to you, sir, in your future dating ventures. That I know we'll talk about it more later, but
Of course, yeah, I'll probably see you on Monday.
yeah. Well, yes, you will definitely see me on Monday. So it's been a long time of working from home. I'm ready to come back. So, David, thank you very much for coming back and joining us.
Yep, no problem. I
Uh,
had fun, and I'm glad I could share my millennial dating experience with you guys. So,
Well, thank you. Yes, we do appreciate that because some of us over here just don't have a clue. Yeah, we're not as in tune with that. So, and for those who are listening, where can they find you?
sure. So actually, I have an announcement. I
He
have
has
a Twitter
Twitter.
now.
Yeah,
So
I saw you came
Pequeño
back.
AV.
What is it?
Twitter.
I'm sorry, repeat that?
It's at Pequeño. So my last name AV. So that's my Twitter handle. You can find me d.pequeño at hypervision.com. And this isn't a technology plug, but I just want to say, if you're into architecture or design, one thing I love about living in Chicago, they have great architecture tours, and now that everyone's at home, they have a lot of virtual ones. So I recommend doing one of those. I did one earlier, and it was actually really cool. So if you're into that kind of thing, highly recommend looking for something like that on Facebook or online or something like that. So that's cool.
Very cool. Well, yeah, definitely check out. Yeah, and actually, that's actually a good thing. For most of like your local museums and things like that, look for them on Facebook. Look for them online. They're probably doing a lot of virtual tours as well. Support these organizations because they don't have people or not the near numbers of people that they probably used to have. So that's a great idea. Thanks, David, for that. And Paige, thank you very much for joining us.
For having me.
And where could people find you if you want to be found?
On
Don't
What?
forget to plug, for likely suitors.
yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Paige Stamberry, and you can find me on Instagram at Paige Stamberry and Facebook at Paige Stamberry. I can put it in the group chat too, but
You can get in touch with me, and I'll get in touch with you.
yeah, Nancy will help you out. But
Yeah, find one of
I'm very
Nancy's many tweets.
yes,
Yeah, Nancy, you're a Twitter fiend out there as
Hey,
of late.
going. I
It's
got it
because
going.
of Paige. She taught me at ISC. She taught me all about it.
Well, there you go. Well, good work, Paige.
Told you we're a team.
And thank you to the crew, Murphy and Renee and Nancy, since now Joe left me. So we lost Joe. He's home, not for bad
Dancing
reason
in
that
the
we lost Joe. Yes, he turned off the rainbow. So, but I'm sure the party is continuing at the Way household. So,
He's probably sleeping.
well, yeah, I'm sure at this point he's probably out, which I'm probably going to be doing right when I hang up with you guys. So,
I think he's on high because he found the unicorn option on his car.
oh yeah, yeah. He probably pulled into the garage, put it back on so he could see it like shine all over the garage.
You gotta see this.
No, he invited his wife in for the romantic light.
Oh, the romantic setting, yes,
Oh, the fireplace.
Oh,
the
nice.
fireplace.
That's
All
right.
right. Well, thank you all for listening. We got some cool stuff coming up over the next couple weeks, and you'll find us back here, same bat time, same bat channel, and until our next adventure.